Hey guys, you're tuning in to the Mina B podcast. It's your girl Mina B, and I am back with yet another fun-filled episode. So, where to find me at the Mina B podcast over on IG. You guys can find me streaming on multiple platforms: Anchor.fm, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker. We're all listening pleasures. You guys know where to go. The link's in the bio. So go ahead and go over there. So rate, be sure to rate RATE for the ones that can't spell, child. Comment, subscribe, fuck with your girl, because you already know what you like to do. Y'all go in the DMs, but make sure y'all comment and rate your girl's show. It's highly appreciated. And I thank you guys so much again for fucking with me. So on today's episode, we are talking all things feminine, all things vulva, all things vagina. I mean, listen, it's going to be a very, very interesting and informative episode for my ladies and for men, because I feel like y'all need to hear a couple of things too about the anatomy and this wonderful product. And my two amazing, beautiful guests. And you guys could go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hey, I am Wendy Roseberry, co-founder of conditionHER Moisturizing Cream.
And I am Eugenia Marshall, co-founder of conditionHER Moisturizing Cream.
Yes. And like we've been trying to do this episode for like about a month now. About a good
And thank you for
month.
being patient, because you know our real lives. You know we're employed
Yes.
entrepreneurs. You know we're not just business partners. We're besties too, and so it's a lot trying to. And we're moms. You know our kids are a little older now. Shout out to the grown moms that still look good. You know, up in these streets. But so we appreciate you for working with us on this timing, so we can come up in here and hang with our girl.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, tell us a little bit about your product, conditionHER.
I guess I'll take this one to jump us off. conditionHER is what it is a daily use, natural, scientifically formulated moisturizing cream for your vulva. And I say that slow and intentional because it's a sexy word. We're always calling that area vagina. Okay, little lesson. Vagina is actually the internal canal, where we put tampons and other things. Before the, COVID, we're putting other things in that area. Shout out to the women that aren't single in this here pandemic. But so the vagina is the internal canal, okay, that leads to the cervix. The vulva is external. That's everything else. That's where you keep your pubic hair, and that's where, unfortunately, you're getting your ingrowns and things like that. And it's also the area we're putting products that aren't necessarily safe. Now, they may be natural. You may be saying, oh, I only use shea butter. I only this. It's not necessarily great in its natural form for that area. So yes, it's a daily use moisturizing cream that first and foremost is health and wellness based, because it is helping you balance and maintain that pH. And ladies, we need help balancing everything in our lives, because everything throws us off, including you men that are listening.
Everything.
Talk about your little swimmers, your little friends, and you shooting up the club, fellas. Yeah, you're throwing us off. That little scent that little mama had that was different than the last little mama, and you think that's pheromones, and you telling your homeboy, sir, that was bacterial vaginosis. Yes, it was. We'll get into it. But anyway, so it is your best friend. It's a daily use moisturizing cream to keep that pH balanced, to get rid of those ugly, unsightly, and uncomfortable ingrown hairs that we get at times for various reasons. Also, ladies, this was something we discovered about the product along the way. If you chafe, whether you're thick in the thighs or you're thin and you run, or some of the activities you participate cause, the friction in your thighs and you get irritation and redness, like within 24 to 48 hours, it's knocking that out. And then finally, one of the benefits that if you keep pubic hair in that area, if that's your preference, it actually helps soften that pubic hair. So we really are the best friend product that you want to sit proudly on your shelf. We are a Black woman-owned company. The entire company is operated by women,
Yes.
women, including our phenomenal biochemist who is a PhD in biochemistry, who helped us formulate this. Actually, she did all the formulation work. We just knew what we wanted. So that's what it is. It's health and wellness. And fellas kind of get like, ooh, is it edible? Is it sexual? No, not yet. This This is to keep things together so you can get edible and sexual in the vulva area, because clearly y'all need a map sometimes. Y'all need the map to the WAP, and that's what we're here to give you.
You know what? I was gonna say this episode was gonna be vulva talk, but it might be the map to the WAP. I mean,
It's the map to the WAP. It's the MAP. It's the moisturized ass P to the wet ass P. You know. But I'm sure we can say
I am so
They
dead,
work together.
so dead. So, ladies, so we're grown. You already know we grown.
we grown.
And I find it amazing how some of us women still in our late 20s to early 40s still don't know the fundamentals of our vaginas, right? I mean, like just coming and going and need to smell like a flower. So I pulled a couple of myths from the internet, woman's world.
Yes, get them together.
So myth number one, this was interesting to me. Myth number one, vaginal discharge means you have a yeast infection.
Okay.
You know what's interesting about this is that I have my daughter's in college at Tennessee State University, HBCU in the house. And what's really interesting is when she comes home and she shares with me things that they've shared with each other. So that's where these myths get started, is when you're in that 18 to 22-year-old zone in college with your girls and you're just starting to experience your body. And this is one of those things where they're sharing secrets with each other and self-diagnosing. And now you have Google, like it's adding a whole nother layer to that.
Exactly. So there's this myth, and it's not only a myth with women, it's also a myth with men, which I think is kind of funny because they think that vaginal discharge is just nasty or something's wrong with you because of it.
And listen,
it's the most normal thing possible. It's cleaning you out. Your vagina naturally cleans itself out. The organ cleans itself and it will release a liquid. So it's just like, y'all are humans. I'm human, you're human, man a woman, woman a woman, and y'all think something's wrong with that. Now, I don't get it. Grown ups, y'all.
It's called secretions, and we all got secretions every day. Ladies, if you want to know what's going on with your secretions, if it is just natural every day, you got to get to know your own body. And there's a lot, like you said, of grown ass women out there that just heard the term vulva for the first time. Because y'all don't remember back to 3rd and 4th grade and they gave us that little map. They gave us the map long time ago, 3rd, 4th grade, human sexuality, just anatomy, basic anatomy. Ladies, smell your panties every day. As soon as you get home from work and all that and all the good stuff, smell them. You gonna know what's the regular little coochie odor, smell a little hot. That's okay. But you also know that twinge, that yeast infection and bacterial infections, they have a scent. You know what I mean? They have a different, and you can smell that. And if you let it go unnoticed or untreated for a long time, and it actually is a yeast infection or bacterial infection, especially when you get towards the bacterial vaginosis and the bacterial infections, you do need to seek your doctor. But yeast infections, there are things, things in your that you eat daily
in your daily diet.
And we'll talk about that later when we get into intimate skincare regimens, which everyone should have one, and a lot of you probably do, but you've never really thought of it as a regimen. But you have one, and some of yours just needs a little tweaking or enhancing, so that you're more intentional about your regimen. We do a lot of things in that bathroom when that door closes behind that shower curtain that we just don't talk about. Like, no one's like calling your bestie like, girl, how you wash your coochie? Do you go from left to right, side to side, up and down, back to front? Like, what do you? We don't really ask that. You know what I mean?
Right.
We talk about a lot of other things, but so yeah, it's, smell your panties, let your body get to know your natural scent. So when she's off, or he, whatever you refer to that area is,
Exactly. So funny, same thing with the discharge. Myth number 2, if your vagina smells, you have an STI. And the thing about it is, we do have a natural odor.
Eau de la pousse. Eau de pousse.
Eau de pousse.
Eau de pousse.
Hey, Erykah Badu is making some money off of that.
Hey.
Yes.
Okay. And it's you, and again, just like what Wendy said, you have to smell yourself to know
Yeah.
what it is. If you know, you have to get in tune or touch your body and know, what it is. So there's normal scent, and then there's, the scent that's like, wait a minute, no, 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 that's off. And that's
Mm-hmm.
when you go seek medical attention. So yeah.
And any sort of itching or burning or just feeling of discomfort. Like, listen, I don't know any woman that really hasn't had a yeast infection at some point. And if you don't know, little yeast infection, your little homegirl yeasty gonna let you know when she's
Oh,
there. Cause she gonna let you know that something ain't right. You know what I mean? And not, it's not just an odor. So you gotta pay attention to your body, and not just what you're putting. Not, it's not all about what we're eating and the things that we're putting in our body. Lots of folks trying to be vegan, pescatarian, whatever the new Aryan is. We don't really pay attention to what we're putting on our bodies.
exactly.
A lot of y'all that's got a hot date even this weekend, even in the Rona, and you're getting prepared right now. You just got out the shower, put your lotion on, and you grabbing for that favorite perfume or your little Vicky Secret spray, and guess where you hitting up? Or you hitting the outside of them drawers, you hitting the inner thigh, and we know you're doing it. And guess what? It's seeping into your skin. For those of you wondering how our product maintains your pH balance, it's cream based. And I make that point because we do have competitors, of course, this, and we've been working on this for 7 years. We had this idea 7 years ago, and in that time, there was a brand, one in particular, that beat us to market about 4 years ago or so. They are oil based, and a lot of our competitors are oil based from jump. We never thought about an oil. Oil sits on the skin. You put an oil on your skin. You see, I'll go ahead and do a little YouTube. I'll show y'all. This is cream based. Okay. So I'm doing the YouTube tour. It's cream based. So it's sitting on there. And as it's sitting on, and that layer of skin on top of, in the vulva area, that upper area is actually called the mons. There's a full name, but the short is the mons. And that skin, any of you that get ingrowns, the ingrown's almost like up under their T's, and you pick at it slightly and it pops up so you can get.
Exactly.
That's how thin the layer of dry skin that has built up in that area is. So this is coming in every day to fortify with moisture, and some other things, again, when we get into regimen, that can keep that area moisturized so you're not having that issue.
Absolutely. And it's so funny that you say that, because I am maybe, I want to say maybe like mid 20s. I've been a waxing fanatic my whole life because I'm naturally a hairy bitch. Like, it just is what it is. Thank you. Thank you, Dad. Like I'm hairy. So it is what it is. So even down to, hair on my face, child. Like, I'm getting laser. I'm a little fair skinned, so I can't have that. You know what I mean? So I'm very, very cognizant of my hair growth. So I remember maybe I was just using cocoa butter and rubbing it all over my body, not thinking. And my wax lady was like, "You have a lot of oil in your skin. Stop using oil on your vagina." Okay. She said, "It's not good. It's not good. Don't." She couldn't really articulate it to me. She was Indian, but she said, and at the time, and she was just like, "Don't do it. No oil. No oil. Don't do it." I'm like, okay. All right. And I've always known that or whatever, because she said, like, she's like, "You're gonna get a lot of bumps." And I was suffering with ingrowns because I kept putting the damn cocoa butter on my skin.
Clog pores. It was clogging your pores, so that way it wasn't allowing, and you probably weren't exfoliating.
Nope.
So now you have the buildup of the dry skin. You're clogging the pores with more products that aren't meant. And sometimes people think, oh, it's cocoa butter, it's shea butter. Like, it's natural. It's perfect for that area. Honestly, the only thing that is perfectly pH balanced for a woman's vagina, internal, and vulva, external, is raw coconut oil.
Okay.
It is perfectly pH balanced. Your doctor or gynecologist some use it as a lube during sex.
I've heard this.
Let me be clear, guys, because I don't want no babies, baby. Like, the ladies tell me to put I dipped it in the coconut oil, and she got on the ride, and then it is not compatible with latex. You hear me? Do not blame us for no children, because we told you about the coconut oil. It's not latex compatible, but there are a lot of married, not so married, all sorts of couples that practice the pull-out method or whatever, or the not pull-out method, and you're not using contraception. So you can use that internally and externally. Again, though.
But it's still an oil.
Externally, from the sense of helping maintain your pH balance, it's still an oil, and it's kind of just sitting on top of the skin, and not as effective as I believe as effective as the formulation that our chemist has put together with Some of the elements, there's shea butter in there. There's some of the things we all love. There's chamomile oil. So we can get into that a little later too. But yeah, that's you. We want to make sure that everything is going there. That raw, like your African shea butter, that thick shea butter that I know y'all all have in a little tube tub at home, that don't go there, y'all. It don't go there.
And take it from me, an avid waxer. I was notorious for that, and I probably was doing it for a long time, just thinking like, it's wintertime, I'm moisturizing my skin. But that skin in particular, you cannot just put anything on it at all.
You still want to moisturize. That's why it's a cream.
Yes.
Because it does still moisturize. And as you know, as we're aging, moisture is the key to, moisture is the fountain of youth, whether it's drinking water or whether it's moisturizing the skin from the outside in. So that's one of the things that it's very anti-aging. So it's moisturizing that skin and keeping it very supple. So that's another huge benefit.
You're right, Gina. And that reminds me, like I said, we are seasoned women, seasoned women looking damn good in these streets. But damn good as we do get older, what affects us internally, as you get into those perimenopausal ages and, you approach your 40s, you cross your 40s, you're in there, you're not quite menopausal yet, but the things that come along with menopause are starting to happen to you. Dryness internally, you know what I mean? Whether it's affecting you. And so the dryness internally affects you externally, and it's vice versa. It's the external affecting the internal affecting the external. So this is kind of helps, with that moisture from the external side to keep that going on. And you can get things, speak with your doctor, your gynecologist, and find things that can keep you moisturized internally to kind of have that balance. So
awesome. All right. So myth number 3, you should wash your vagina with soap.
Gina, you want to tell them what the gynecologist will tell you to wash with? Do you know?
Because I know what my gynecologist said, and I'm just like, y'all still washing with soap?
Yep. Yeah. Gina, what they say? Warm what, huh?
Warm water.
Yep.
That's it.
Because like we discussed earlier, she cleans herself.
She's
self-sufficient.
Like most of us and women out here.
To be.
Right.
Exactly.
Listen, now wait, be careful. I was a single woman. I'm real careful with the self-sufficient because fellas know we do need help. HELP, we need partnership. Let's be clear, because Beyonce and some folks done sang y'all a song, "Can You Pay My Bills?" and independent women, and y'all thought we didn't need help. I'm back to let you know, no, we would like partnership and help. So let's just be clear.
I take partnership. I take help. I take Zelle.
Yes.
I take Cash App. I take PayPal.
Sponsors, all of that. Let's take it. Let's bring it back. But yes. Now, am I using just warm water? No. I'm not going to sit here and tell them but and that's one of the reasons we made a moisturizing cream as opposed to a soap, because early on we were kind of thinking we're going to make basically a shampoo and conditioner for your pubic hair. That was kind of our thought. And we, after research and really, really digging in back in 2013, when we started this quest to figure out this product, what we found at the time where women were really having these conversations in these forums online, and it was mostly European women, white women, trying to figure out how to soften their pubic hair. They weren't necessarily looking for anything to wash with, because here's the truth. Guess what? You got a hot date and you are not at home, and the only soap you see in sight is Palmolive dishwashing soap. Guess who's gonna be in the bathroom with the foot on the counter with the Palmolive? You gonna do it, and you can say, yes you will. Yeah, don't try to play me, because y'all will get it when you need to get it popping and you need that.
Say in my 20s, I was a baby with baby wipes girl. Like if you needed to just get before they had the wonderful honey pot wipes, you in between it. This is New York City life. So you leaving from the job to go to a little after work little vibe on and he gonna be there. You gonna go in there and get your little wipes.
Yeah.
And have it in your purse, and you just going back, make sure back to front that you're all together so you're fresh. You know what I mean? Because you can't run home to take a shower. It's just not happening.
My friend's mom used to tell us that's called hitting that, we call it a whole bath, whatever you do. Right. She used to say, what y'all in there doing, hitting the hot spots to go? She said, that's called hitting the hot spots to go. And I say, yeah, but the truth of the matter is, women, soap is cleaning's not necessarily our issue. A lot of you are out there definitely cleaning with things that are not great for that area. I don't, I don't use any of those particular like vagina washes or things like that. For me, I'm a good old Dr. Bronner's soap, the almond one or the lavender one that Dr. Bronner's has. Clean it up, get it going, and get on out of there. And then I dry off out of the shower. First thing I reach for is this little tube. I know y'all can't really see it great. I'll put a little close. Got that little V in virtue there for the saints on Sundays and Sundays tomorrow.
Okay.
We got that from shout out to our good girlfriend Adara, who's now Pastor Adara. She's a preacher's wife, and she had issues with sebaceous cysts in that area. Women get all, and for those of you that are thinking like, oh, I can't use that. I have eczema, or I'm super sensitive, or you're like her. She had sebaceous cysts, and she hadn't found anything. She was getting married. I think she's on her 2-year anniversary now, and she was like, Wendy, we didn't even have this yet. We only had samples. And she was like, can you please send me samples so I can at least try? And I was hesitant because I'm like, oh, Lord, what did this make this girl's coochie fall off? Like, I'm so scared. Like, what if the sebaceous cyst just jump out? I didn't know, but we sent it. And she called me from New York at 5 o'clock in the morning, my time, damn near in tears. Like, Wendy, this is working for me. And I can tell it's drying up this cyst overnight. And I've never had this.
Wow.
We have a 7-year-old, 8-year-old, I think now, that uses the product because she chafes and gets irritation. So for those of you thinking, oh, I don't know if I can use it, listen, our biochemist is the bomb. And most of the products that she has made, we make and manufacture in Europe. And I make that point because if y'all don't know anything about our little FDA over here, shout out to the FDA, no shade. But European Union is they not with the business. They about that action, meaning this must be tested before it leaves.
Right.
Europe. This must be tested for stability, skin tests, and all sorts of things. And you must pay for these tests before it leaves, and you must be certified that you have passed these tests. And we did. And that was very comforting to us, making a product for such an intimate area and sensitive area on a woman's body, because the FDA doesn't require that. That's why you go on Instagram, it's Yanni this, Yanni oil that, pubic oil this, and no shade to those women, get your money, boo, but I don't feel personally. This makes me feel good that I actually have documentation. And our chemist, before working with us, the majority of products that she made were for cancer patients. And highly respected in Europe and worldwide. And so we were blessed to meet her in the way that we did because we had been at it for 4 years. We know what the hell. We just had an idea. We were trying to private label for those of you that are looking to make a product, or you've always wanted to do a lipstick or a lip gloss. A lot of those lines that you see people, the celebrities and different people launching, those are called private label. They went to a lab company and they told them what they wanted, and they kind of discussed whatever sensitivities. Did they want, SPF in it? Did they want cocoa butter? Did they want things that were, and they kind of talked through, and the lab basically takes an existing formula base and kind of customize it for you, the colors, right, the textures that you want. And so we didn't want that route. We wanted an original formula, and that's what we got from our chemist.
See, get into it, y'all. And with this pandemic, I mean, we've been seeing a lot of people branching into their entrepreneurship and learning, making things right in their stove, right on that stove. Being home chemists. And it's just like there's a lot of different things that you can get into and get involved with, but do your research. Don't fall for the kiki. Take your time. If you have something that's great, you can push it. This is the time. However, do your research, reach out to people, do what the ladies of conditionHER did. If you got to reach out to a chemist elsewhere just to get that tweaking, just to get that better understanding, don't be afraid to pay for, making sure that this product is what you need it to be for your customer base, period.
Right.
Hands down. So the last myth, and Gina, I'm going to tell you, I want to see what your friends would say. One's funny. You can't get pregnant when you have your period.
Man, how many of us heard that growing up?
Baby, I remember.
That's almost as bad as you won't get pregnant if I just stick the tip in. How many babies are here because of those two things?
Or you can't get pregnant off a pre-cum.
Or you can't be pregnant and still have a period. Ooh, how about that one?
There it is. There it is.
Y'all at home nervous. The men is at home shaking. They like, oh, hell no. We Yeah, a lot of you women too. Yeah, there's a whole lot of myths out there, folks.
There
Right.
is. So they said it's rare about you getting pregnant when you have your period. However, sperm can live in the body for up to 5 days. So could catch an egg when you ovulate after your period.
Yep. If he
I
got
mean,
on your nerves on Monday, but by Friday you giving him some, and then by the next Monday he done got on your nerves, girl, look, Molly, you in danger, girl.
well,
Molly,
and I
you
will
in
never
danger.
forget it. It was sophomore year of high school, and she was like, the girl got pregnant. She was just like, we would always have sex on my period, and I'm like, ew. Or, like, I'm 15, and I'm like,
What they call
ew.
that? They call that running a red light.
Running a red light and got pregnant on her period, y'all. So that was our 4 wonderful myths. Thank you, Wendy and Eugenia, for all your wonderful, educational tips and tidbits, honey, because
I love that.
the folks absolutely, absolutely need it. But here's the funny thing. So I was talking to one of my male friends this week. I said, I got this episode coming, and he was just like telling me little things here and there. I said, oh God, I am not talking about this on my show. This is for another show. However, so it says the male myth about the vagina was the snapback capability. And he said he found it so amazing after seeing childbirth of his children that it came back together, and
That thing came on
that
back
thing
together.
came back
Huh?
together. But he was a little traumatized by it. And it kind of messed with him sexually because he was like, I saw my kids being born, so I ain't want to have sex for a while.
I guess he thought he was going to approach it, and it was just
That
going.
while didn't last longer than it lasted for her to get back together. I think that's God. God does that on purpose. I think God allows them to be disturbed so that she can heal and get better. Because at the end of that 6 weeks, he's back. He's got his mind back together.
Child. I said, sir, so you mean to tell me, because I have no children. So I said, so what you're saying is when I do launch that husband, God willing,
Yes.
existence, amen.
Yeah.
That I have to make sure he's up here holding my hand and not down there, because I ain't having it. You ain't gonna be looking at me sideways because you seen the childbirth. You gonna be right up here on this shoulder. Okay, I'm not doing it. He said
I'm not mad at that.
He said he was messed up, y'all. He was like, no.
But let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you right now, sis. Listen, I had a whole lot of what I want and what I don't want when I was in, and I had my son very young. Shout out to my little young king. He's a grown man now, but I remember like having all of these rules. Like, I don't want this person in there. I don't want that. But I ended up going into labor a month early, so I had to go to NICU. So when you're that, like it. Listen, honey, let me tell you, by that last trimester, especially the last few weeks, you don't give a damn if President Obama come in there with Michelle and the whole, you don't care who down there. You like, get them in here. Can they help? Get Pres Obama, like, get a stir up, bruh. Like, push back. You really don't care. So I know in going in, you may think stay up here, but in that moment, girl, you ain't gonna know hide nor hair. You just wanted to know when it's done, when it's over.
my ex, he went down to the bottom and he looked at me, and when the doctor was getting me back together, he goes, Doc, can you put like a couple more stitches in? I just want to make sure it's tight. I was like,
there it is. You see, I cannot see how these men think.
See how they do?
Damn, y'all.
See how they do?
Damn.
I love it. Hilarious.
And I hope he listens to this. Friend, I hope you listen to this, because you are a mess, and this is exactly what men think. God damn it, this is a mess. So y'all, I know, Wendy, we talked about this briefly before, but I would love to know, how did you guys just come up, 7 years in, how did you guys come up with the idea for the product? Because you said it started off as a wash. Like, what was the thought process? What were you thinking about? And y'all both said, as 2 strong, intelligent Black women, that this is a product that we need right here, right now. Like, what was the thought process, and what got y'all there?
Well, I'll say to start, I had the idea, but Gina doesn't really, she's my bestie and biz partner, and she she don't really get too much choices of what she's gonna get into, but she's got to be into it because I have ideas all the time, and she'd be like, "Yeah, that's good, but that ain't it." And this one, it took she had like 2 phases. She was like, "Yeah, that's good," but and then when he got to the point, and I'll tell you what that point was, where she was like, "Oh yeah, this is it." So I was dating long distance. He knows who he is. Shout out to him for the inspiration, sir. Probably have to write you a check one of these days. But this brother, after a few trips, was like, you know, the next time you come visit, can you not wax? And I was like, I'm sorry, come again? Because like you, Mina, I have waxed since I was 18. And had been consistent with that, you know, what throughout and through and through. And to be honest, there was my very first esthetician was a white woman. I grew up in Diamond Bar, California, and she worked at one of the spas there. And she used to tell me, you know, Wendy, as you grow up and move out into the world and go on, she's like, be very careful who you allow to wax you, and ask, do they have other African American clients? Because your hair pattern is different than others. It grows circular, and if you just try to apply the wax and remove the wax in the general way from, she's like, everybody's hair, some people's hair from top down grows down and the sides grow out, some people on the top it grows up and out. Like she was like, so they need to be very familiar with like curl pattern and how you do that. So I always kept that in the back of my mind. So I had waxed, you know, successfully, and kept, you know, didn't really struggle with ingrowns or like that all of my young adult life. And so here's this brother comes along, interrupting the program, talking about, can I keep a little more hair? And I'm like, well, sir, I keep a nice little 2-finger landing strip, because I didn't like the presence. I never liked like bare coochie. A lot of men call it baby pussy. I'm just gonna say I didn't. That wasn't. Listen, the vajayjay is not the like. It's cute, but it's not like the cutest little organ. Just
thing. It's not. It's not.
Things. I mean, men, if you that's your like men, women, if that's your preference and you think that she's gorgeous, it's great. But you know, so I was always very conscious of that. So when this brother asked me not to wax, I was like, so what are you talking about? He was like, you know, I want to let it grow out. And he was like making hand gestures. And I was like, what's this? And I was like, you mean outside of the underwear? So if I'm keeping a 2-finger landing strip on, you know, in my panties, everything's looking smooth and bare, right? Yeah. Till I'm unpantied, unclothed, and you get in the landing strip. He was like, yeah, I want it kind of, I'll see it outside of the underwear. He's like, I don't need a bush out this way, but just kind of the presence. And you know, the psychology comes in. It's like, well, what made you want that? And he's like, to be honest, just as a young man going through adolescence and my pubescent stage, like the presence of pubic hair for us young boys growing up, even in, you know, the way they were taught in school, when a girl gets pubic hair, like she's kind of a woman, like that's a real grown woman. And that's what real grown women don't look like. And I won't say that that's a Black man thing. I definitely have found those sentiments to run through, you know, a lot of old, more seasoned Black men, mid to late 30s. Because listen, the rappers like T.I. and a few of the rappers then told y'all like they don't want it unless it's bare down there. You know, one of the little young, I don't know if it's Travis Scott, but it's a line in his something. I don't want no something hair down there, something like cut it off. You know what I mean? It's a little cut it. So they, you know, that's kind of because of, you know, porn culture. And shout out to my sex workers, no shade. Got some friends in that industry. Shout out to you guys. But there is a perception of what a woman, you know, kind of looks like for some. And for them, it's all bare. For him, that wasn't. He wanted the opposite. And so I was like, okay, that makes sense. I'll save my little money and my pain and the you know, because when you got wax, you got to wax. Then they got to go in with the tweezers to do it's a lot. It's a thing.
It is.
So I said, cool, we let that go. On that same trip to Chicago that weekend, a lot of my good girlfriends, mine is Gina, were in Chicago. We had a girls' night. And I'm at dinner telling the business, because yeah, fellas, we tell the business and we show the photos. We show the photos. We show the dick pics. We're just gonna let y'all know. We show.
If you send it inappropriately and in a rash manner, it's going into my group chat.
It's going to get. You're right. And so yeah, right. You know, so we were just chatting and drinking, lots of drinking. And I brought it up and I was like, you know, this brother, and he's asking me, So I was like, I guess I'm gonna have to go back to my teenage days and do what I did then. And my girl's like, what'd you do? I was like, I use my hair conditioner on my pubes, like to soften. If I'm gonna have some more pubic hair, then it needs to be like soft and have a nice scent. I was like, you know, y'all didn't use your Suave or Pantene, because you know back then we had Suave or Pantene. That's what we used back in the day.
Strawberry
Suave, ma'am. That was the one. Thank you very much. Yes, or the Pantene, because Pantene always had a nice little scent, little perfumey scent. So the table erupts in laughter, right? Like, what? you did that? And I'm like, yeah. And then, it was a few quiet faces, and then the hands kind of went up. Well, I used to do that. Oh, yeah, I did that too. And then some of them had done it for the same reasons, for the perception of softening the hair, because that's what the conditioner and the shampoo. So, and it wasn't like an everyday thing, but it was a part of like my hair washing regimen. Because, hair wash day for a Black woman, it's like on the calendar, it's scheduled. It's about an hour, 90-minute to 2-hour affair in the bathroom. You done brought your radio in there, your drink, your phone. You got everything brought in during that. And so it's a process, right? So I was like, and in my teenage days, anytime I was going through that process, I would pay attention to that hair down there too. I'm like, you gonna get this shampoo and conditioning too. Was it doing what we thought it should do? No. Was it unhealthy? Absolutely, yes.
Right.
But we didn't know that. And what the truth of the matter was, I had a regimen even in those teenage years. And so the table erupts in laughter, and I'm like, man, what am I gonna call it? And so we start laughing and joking. And I come up with a funny name. We were gonna call it Shampussy.
Say what now?
Ma'am, we were going, apparently I was going to need and go and make Shampussy.
Y'all heard it here first.
Yeah.
conditionHER.
This was 7 years ago.
Shampussy, y'all.
So we are laughing hysterically. The table has erupted. The liquor has kicked in. I'm probably on gin and tonic. My girls are on rosé, and it is a problem at the table because we cannot contain it. And it is just, I'm a marketer, by trade. And so I went home still laughing. I woke up still laughing, right? It looks like Eugenia took a little pause for a minute, and she'll come back with us. But I called what I do all the time, and I called my bestie, and I said, "Hey, early in the morning, I said, I think I got an idea for us." I said, "We need to make a pubic hair conditioner." So we were at the table, and I'm telling her, and she's like, I was like, I've been Googling intimate skincare. Like, there's nothing for that. And she said, okay, Wendy. She was kind of on board. Got back home, started researching, and I really decided, hey, this could be a thing. There's nothing. I'm Googling pubic hair conditioner, pubic hair softener, pubic hair everything, and there's nothing. And that's when I stumbled upon these forums with women, and we're asking specifically, how do I soften my pubic hair as I'm searching? And what I noticed in the comments is that women weren't looking for a wash, which Shampussy denotes that we're making a wash. Women were looking for a pubic hair conditioner. And I called Gina back after some time of research. I said, no, we need to do a pubic hair conditioner. We need to soften this pubic hair. Mind you, that is not at all the focus of us today. And that is thanks to our biochemist, who, once I met her 4 years ago, she was like, yeah, no, that's not it. Like, that's something I can do easily. That's very almost cosmetic. Novelty. This is health and wellness, sweets. Like, you need to maintain pH balance. She was like, I can do that. I can take care of ingrowns, but the most important, if you keep this pH balance, it'll help with a lot of things. So,
right.
We didn't have a name. We had our little funny name, and one day I went to a friend, and it actually was a guy. I won't say names because it could get him in trouble at home. Like, why were we even having this conversation? He's like one of my best guy friends too. And I tell him, and he says, what are you gonna call this? He didn't say it was stupid, which was great, because he usually be like, that's a fucking stupid idea. You're not doing it. And I said, I don't know. We don't know what to call it. He said, go get your purse. Bring me your credit card. And he literally went on his computer. We were out, and we both had our computers with us. And he went to GoDaddy and typed in conditionHER.com. And I said, oh, shit. That's it. And we bought it. And I said, well, buy Condition Him while we're at it, because I don't know what that's going to be yet, but it'll be something.
Right.
And I called Eugenia that day. And I said, I got it. We're doing conditionHER. And she said, hot damn, that's it, girl, was on. And she was hyped. I was hyped. We just didn't have no money, which is the biggest problem for female founders. And I hate using the word female, but women, we are female founders, Black female founders,
Yes.
And then you drill down, and we're out trying to get funding for a coochie conditioner, in essence. And you can imagine us approaching VCs and tech folks, 7 years ago, trying to get investment in a coochie conditioner. Like, but that's where it came from. It became a thing. It lit a fire. We did our research. It took us 4 years before we met our chemist. We had the idea 2013, met the chemist 2016, got our samples in 2016, did not launch until June of 2019 because it took us that long to raise the money. So that's how we got here.
More power to y'all. That is called sticking with a plan. And you guys had a passion. You had the idea. Y'all, listen, putting it together and having somebody have your back. Gina having her back because that pussy, I don't know, y'all.
Listen. When she was saying that pussy, I was like, because
Ma'am.
Wendy is an ideator. Okay, so that's one thing about Wendy is she's a marketing mind by nature, and so she comes up with ideas all the time. Like they just come out like, and she'll be like, now it's so bad. When she thinks of something, she'll be like, nah, I need to pull it back. I need to pull it back because she knows that this is our focus right now. So when she came up with the idea, I was like, I don't know, but when I heard condition her, and it just linked so closely to what she had in her mind, I knew that was the big thing. I knew it was going to be a big thing.
Awesome. Well, Eugenia's doting on me, but Eugenia, like she said, we are yin and yang. I am idea person. We're both connectors. We're both creative. She's like, Eugenia's the friend that can come over and she's like what I want in a male like partner. Like
soulmate.
And I know, like, yes, but no, like literally in the partner, like you want your man to be like handy, like Gina can come together and put your surround sound together, hook up the electronics to where it's in your bathroom, in your car, the gardener got sound, like put up your TV. She probably can damn near mount the TV on the wall. She's just extremely resourceful. She's a techie, but she's a finance woman at the end of the day, and you can't build a business without a business plan, without the proper things. And I would be totally fraudulent in those areas without her. And then having someone who also is a creative and a marketing mind and artsy herself. So it was like the perfect match. And so even in our, like we are both working demanding full-time jobs, mine in entertainment, hers on the finance side and HR side. And they both, the jobs actually help us run this business, kind of help us, fake it till we make it in that sense, and just kind of know the proper things that need to be done with a business structure. So it has been a dynamic relationship. We tend to be a dynamic duo, and we're just excited to have a product that works. We are not claiming to be the only one out there, but what I can tell you, and shout out to those brands that made it before us, and kudos to you for the success you've had, because you made a way for us, including our, probably our biggest competitor, Fur. I'll say their name, no problem. They're pubic hair oil. Two different companies, white-owned company, black-owned company, trying to solve the same issues in different ways. But they really did prove market viability, that this little harebrained idea that we had, which I'd like to say we had our idea before them, but they had the money before us, and money is king, and it trumped. But we work. I'm gonna have to go ahead and say that we're more effective than them. We're also less expensive than them. Our entire company, including our chemist, is a woman, which is different from them. Their formulation partner is a man. And then come down the line some years in Honey Pot Company. Shout out to Bea Dixon. Have gotten to kind of communicate via email, but haven't met. And she comes and kills the game to be the first Black-owned, or Black-made business on the feminine hygiene aisle, period.
Yes, ma'am.
And she has expanded her product market to even have products that would be considered competition for us. But who cares? If it works for you, use Honey Pot Company's, Vulva cream. If that doesn't quite work for you, or you want to try us, use ours. But the point is, there's room for us all. I've never walked in a store and only seen one brand on the shelf.
One fragrance.
There's room for us all. For you curly hair girls out there, y'all know y'all use about 10 of the same products to get the effect that you need. Right. And shout out to all of those women that are making products and innovations, sex tech products and things like that, that are taking us to the next level.
Absolutely. So guys, with the pandemic, what are some challenges that you guys have faced with, this budding business, this budding product? Can y'all give us a little feedback about how that has been for you guys?
Yes, definitely with the brand and growing the brand. We had all these strategies that we were going to do with pop-up shops, festivals, just being able to get the brand in front of people. Because as you can tell, we're very passionate about the product. So whenever Wendy and I are on a podcast or we're around people, we can really sell the product. And once you get it, it really works. So that's our thing. It's like I always tell people, like, because Wendy's all flashy and she's got this great bubbly personality. I'm quiet, but I'm like, if I say it works, it works. Cause like I wouldn't say it. I would sit here and I'd just be quiet. But you know, it works. And so if we're able to get it into your hand and you can take it home and you can actually use it, you can see why it's actually essential. You know, we hear that so many times. It's like people just tell us all the time, this is a product I never knew I needed, but I do. I need this product. I know we've kind of talked about it before, but just want to bring it back around that Johnson and Johnson, you know, that whole lawsuit about, you know, the baby powder, you know, so many of us have learned how to care for ourselves from our mothers, and they didn't know that something like baby powder could be harmful, because when we're putting anything down there, it's getting inside of our bodies, whether it's through the vagina, which this product is not made for, whether it's moving and you know, you have sex or whatever, and it's getting into that area, or whether it's just getting in that delicate skin, you know, that is going to be absorbed into your bloodstream. So it's very, very, very important to make sure that you're using the right products on your skin. So we can really sell that when we see you in person. So that really hurt us. You know, you know, we had to pick, you know, we had to figure out a way to still get ourselves in front of people so that we could still continue to expand the brand. And then shipping, you know, shipping, we're a direct to consumer brand. We target people. When we connect with you, we're selling to you directly. You're getting it from these two sisters right here in front of you. So when you're a direct to consumer brand with what's going on in the world, not, you know, we can't always get you the product even though we want to. I mean, we've eaten shipping on these products just to make sure that anybody who wants it can get it, because that's what we're most concerned about right now, is getting that product in your hand, because once you get it, you're going to realize it works. And so like Wendy had an issue today with trying to get something to Dubai. And it's just been.
And so I want to jump in really quick to go back and really answer the question too, and drill down to what we really dealt with. Like Eugenia said, we had all these plans for pop-ups and from Essence Festival, trying to figure out how we were going to get there and all those things. So what we did, our pivot was, and it was something we were already planning. We were planning to do exactly what you're doing now: launch a podcast. The podcast name was conversations, and we planned to get that jumping off and doing it and having guests and all that. But also, everyone's at a big standstill. Again, we were trying to navigate our jobs. Eugenia is considered an essential worker, so she had no days off. You know, she had to go physically into the office all throughout the pandemic. I was working aggressively. So what we decided to do as a change in the middle of the pandemic was we launched an IG series called Conversations. We do them. We've taken about the last month and a half off because this is tiring, you guys. It's a lot of work to work the full-time job and do. And sometimes we're just tired, you know, and just don't have the time to be consistent even when we want to. So what we did was we launched it on Sundays. We'll have one tomorrow. And whenever this airs, hopefully we're still consistent and they're still happening. But they are 1-hour conversations via our IG Live at the moment. We'll be expanding with all sorts of people with various backgrounds. Listen, right now we are a one SKU product, meaning we got these earrings we have on. Those will be launching. We've got some t-shirts coming and some other things and other product extensions. But right now, our base product is this one tube. We can't be on the live every week talking about this tube and telling this same story over and over again. We had to basically, like, how do we build community around this brand? How do we build community with the people whose lifestyles, daily lifestyles fit? Mina, your lifestyle fits this brand. Right. You're a working woman, you work out, you know, you care about what you're putting on your body, you know, you're doing things, you're paying the extra money to wax and do those things that are self-care related. You are our part of this community of the lifestyle, the type of person that would use this product. So we had to create community. So that's why we jumped off the IG Lives with Conversations. We started them, I think, around March 26th or so, somewhere in there. So not far after the official lockdown of March 16th jumped off. And every week we've had, you know, everyone from folks in real estate to a budget coach to a sex worker who actually is a porn star, actually has been on OnlyFans for well over a year before it became popular and the craze. That really was a safe way that sex workers were found to make their money. And not only that, like, she also is an advocate for sex workers as a part of the Me Too movement. Shout out to Lotus Lane. That's who I'm speaking of. For any of you who have caught her videos, go to our OnlyFans and find Lotus Lane. But as a sex worker, her job with the Me Too movement was to change the perception and the portrayal of sex workers in entertainment. Meaning, it's not always the dead hooker under the hotel. You know what I mean? It could be the lady you're standing to next in the grocery store, sitting to next to in church. Shout out, because y'all know y'all church folks is on OnlyFans, but you don't hear me though. So those are the sorts of conversations that we've had on, and we have more. We've had men on, women on, and that is to engage the community with things that they may want to know that's still tied to us and our product at the root. And so, like I said, we really stuck to IG Live. We're going to expand out to normal podcast and streaming in other places. And as soon as we can go back outside, we will take this show on the road to have this little taboo talk with women and men, to be honest.
Yes, because they need to know. They need to hear this. They need to know.
Right. We've also done a lot of panels. We've worked to listen when the George Floyd murder, happened, and the great pause happened, and then Blackout Tuesday came. That caused a shift. An uncomfortable one that caused us to pause for a good week or so in our social, because we didn't know what to do, because all of a sudden the call to action was support Black-owned businesses. And guess what? It wasn't February. It wasn't Black History Month. So this was new to all of us.
That's how I found y'all.
Right. See?
That's exactly.
And it was coming in droves. There was 13-year-old little boys. We were getting IG story hits from 13-year-old little boys and girls who had seen us, and they were all trying to do their part. Yes. They had been listening, and that was their action step. And it was overwhelming. I'm like, gee, this is like a beautiful disaster. Here we are, our product's moving, our followers are moving up, but a man is dead. You know what I mean? We watched him be murdered. It traumatized me. And so really, Eugenia was like, well, why don't we put out a manifesto of how to support a Black-owned business, not just ours, but in general. So that's exactly what we did. We took Gina's advice and we put together, and it's still on our page today, of how to support a Black-owned business and the different ways. And from there, we just got an overwhelming amount of support. I support an organization called Camp Empowerment, and it's an organization for women of all backgrounds it's a camp. It was a sleepaway camp for adults, really, to go play and have fun. But it was mostly, those are my white girlfriends. That's my white circle. And they were even more intentional. They wanted to support a Black-owned business, but a Black woman-owned business. And so what we did is we put together a panel of us, our friend Francis, who owns Awkward Essentials. Now, you're going to have Francis on, because that's an after-sex cleanup sponge. Yeah, it's like a tampon on a stick for those of you that are shooting up the club. So you're going to use her Awkward Essentials drip stick to go up there and get it out. You're going to clean yourself. Then you're going to use our moisturizing cream to make sure it's not throwing you off. But anyway, we'll have to get you Francis. And we pulled a few other female founders that had these interesting brands that were made for women. And we were producing panels for organizations and basically putting ourselves and these other women in and coming in and producing panels for them to explain about ourselves. And I'll have to say, shout out to Nikki Porcher, the founder of buyfromablackwoman.org. If this holiday season or going into 2021, or whenever you're listening to this podcast, because it will be there, she dedicated her life back in 2016 to supporting Black women-owned businesses. Yeah. And it's a nonprofit. And she has all sorts of educational resources. And we were recently awarded Black Woman-Owned Business of the Year in the skincare category. She did her first Buy from a Black Woman awards this year. She has over 500 Black woman-owned businesses that she has vetted to no end, because she had white men-owned businesses pretending to be having employees that were Black pretend to own the company to get on the site. She doesn't sell from there. She's literally a resource and referral. So folks, listen, as we move our intentional, being in our intentions and trying to support Black-owned businesses, men, women, brown, any people of color, when you have a birthday, put it on your birthday wish list. You getting married, be intentional about the brands. And shout out to one of my white girlfriends, Chelsea Fuller, who actually called me up and was like, Wendy, I realized how I could help. I'm getting married next year. So I've gone into my wedding registry and intentionally put brands, Black-owned brands in there that I would like to use for things from, baby showers. So let's all be intention. And Black folks, how many of you have thought to make a registry of all Black-owned businesses? Not a lot of us.
Not a lot of people.
Not a lot of us. And it took a white girl to give me that idea. And so I'm sharing it, and that's what it's about.
Listen, that's amazing. First and foremost, I was pretty intentional on my damn self with the whole Black Friday, Cyber Monday situation. I was like, you know what? I'm still doing gifts. I want to make sure that I am giving gifts to my friends and my family that are Black owned, because you can find it. Do your research. Instagram is an amazing tool. That's how I found them.
Yep.
That's how I found
See, I love it.
Wendy.
Yep, I love it.
Condition her. So, granted, yes, there's a lot of things that we all can't just buy Black, but there's a majority clothing, makeup, body products,
Yep.
vulva lotion, cream,
Yep.
excuse me, that you can
That's
buy.
okay. You know, there's other buyfromablackwoman.org is great. There's also Post 21 Shop, which we're blessed to be on.
Mhm.
You know, shout out to Blair Pasinger, who is her mother founded that site. They have all sorts. You can actually buy from them. Beautiful. They've created and curated pieces from beautiful, from artwork to clothing to there's also Ethnic District. If you really want to kind of support Black owned but also African owned products, Ethnic District is very intentional about sourcing products from Africa, all various parts of Africa. So, shout out to Ethnic District and Whitney, who runs that site. All places that you can stop and one-stop shop for yourself or for others during the holiday seasons or beyond.
Absolutely. And for my listeners, you guys, the lovely ladies of conditionHER have given you all 20% off your next purchase, and using the code MINAB, of course. You guys could definitely tap into the product, because I have, and I want to give my testimony live on the show, child.
Okay.
So y'all know I'm the ingrown queen, because that coily hair, that's me. I'm the coily hair in the
I was too prior to this. I'm just gonna tell you.
So I think that my hair on my vulva has been stunted because of how much I wax. I'm very consistent. Um, Maybe not so much during the pandemic. I mean, it wasn't. Yeah.
Corona bush. You've been struck with the Corona bush.
All right.
A lot of you out there have been struck with the Corona bush. It's okay. We're here.
Exactly. So I've been using it, but I also, because I get bumps on my bikini line. And now I know I'm probably I've been using it for about a month now. I am probably slated for a wax in about a week. I have no bikini line bump, not a whitehead in sight, not a bump.
It works.
It really
and I'm
does.
sitting there and I know you want to skip the day or two because you ripping and running, but I'm like, y'all, I don't have any bumps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've gotten that. That's and estheticians. Listen, we put our product in a gift bag in North Carolina. My brother had one of his speakers, slated there, and he was like, "Okay, can my sister put her, put a product in your gift bag?" North Carolina, never been there, sent it out over there, and some months later, we reached out to by a young lady named Jessica. She owns a spa in North Carolina called Dahomey Goddess. Shout out to Jessica. And her mother had attended this event. I think Iyanla Van Zant was a guest. Shout out to Iyanla. We got to be on her and Tina Lifford's podcast, Love from a Distance, over the summer. Shout out to those ladies for the platform. But her mother was there and took a gift bag and was reading the product and was like, this sounds like something my daughter needs, who owns this prominent spa. And she is an esthetician and does waxes and vajacials. That's another conversation, y'all. Vajacials are a thing.
Yes.
Self-care. And she reached out to us because it was extremely effective, and she had used it on herself and it was effective. So she has incorporated this as part of her vajacial routine. After she waxes and after she does all of the lovely things that she does for her.
Her videos are addictive.
And she wanted to wholesale us. So there are several. We are in Cooch, LA, which is out here in Los Angeles on Melrose.
Cooch. I've heard about
shout out to Kim, the owner of Cooch, LA. It's about 2 blocks west of Fairfax, for those of you in LA, on the south side of Melrose. And so there's that. And then we're in Dahomey Goddess there in North Carolina. We are in several esthetician shops, and it's been such a struggle for them because they've gone from closed down to open up to close down. And we have literally early on did some sponsoring. Jessica was our first recipient. We were able to kind of take a percentage of sales and give them to her during the holidays. Another young woman, we were able to take a percentage of sales and share them. And so I want to tell you, thank you for that. And being actually someone who, no, we've never met in person. So there's no like setup here this is literally someone we met online and who was active about reaching out to us and patient. Thank you. But make sure you take your tube with you, and you've got tube for life. When you run out, you just hit us. We got you for life.
Thank
You
you
are
guys.
forever a recipient. Take it with you when you go to your appointment, because after you wax, they want to put their little cream on there. Just say no, sweets, it's cool. I got this, and take out your tube, and you use it right after you wax. It will numb that out. I laser now. I prefer
Okay,
fancy. Yes, laser. Yes, black girls, sisters, queens. Don't be afraid to laser.
I'm lasering here. All of this.
Yep. They were not for us when they first came out 10, 12, however many years ago. The laser, it was the melanin on our skin. It couldn't pick up the hair. But they done fixed that, girl. They just didn't do a whole marketing and promotions campaign to tell us. But let me tell y'all Armenian friends, your Persian friends.
Yes.
They up in there. They are going and they're getting that. So it's go on up in there and get your laser. If that's your preference. I prefer it and I love it, but I take this with me and I said, no, sweets, I got this. And they were like, what's that? And I was like, my own product. And I'm gonna tell you another secret, fellas. We know it's the little tube with the little body, the little V in virtue, but guess what? Y'all nosy and you can't keep your hands to yourself.
They always want to try our shit.
You done picked up this tube in your girl's bathroom because you saw the little body and you wanted to know
what it was.
Like, is this monostat? Is this a problem? Like, I had a guy tell me, be very careful how you market this to men. Like, is it like, he's like, if I see monostat on the counter, like, I'm freaked out on the counter, under the counter, like, what's wrong? He was like, but to them, for men, and it's crazy, even though we know like douche isn't really good for us.
No.
But for men, because of the way it was marketed, when a men see Summer's Eve or douche, they be like, oh, my girl own it. She clean.
Martin Lawrence.
Sir?
Squish.
Yeah, like, sir, no, that's not healthy. And so, but what his point was, the difference between seeing monostat and Summer's Eve douche was like night and day. He said, all we see is women running through the flowers and the tall grass and the Summer's Eve and everything is beautiful.
Ciao.
And not like what's wrong. So we needed that. Fellas, y'all done opened this tube, you looked at it, you read it, you saw that it works on ingrowns, you opened it up, yes you did.
And you done put it under your chin.
And you done put it under your neck and realized that
put it down there.
Shout out to my gay boys, because y'all was like, girl, we need to soften up these pubes too. So y'all done put it down there, you done put it under here, and guess what? It's done cleaned up them little bumps.
It worked.
You even put a lid on your beard. And guess what? That comb that used to go, the comb done combed straight through. And now your girl is emailing and DMing us because she mad because your tube is on her side, on your side of the sink. So they like, when is conditionHER coming? It's coming. It's not necessarily going to be for here. It will be a beard and neck cream for you men to use so y'all can stop stealing your girls. But for now, if you need it and you're confident in your masculinity, you don't care, go on and buy a little tube, put her under the cabinet, and go on and put her on your beard and your neck.
That's it. Guys, tell me a little bit about regimen. A little regimen situation.
Gina, you want to like start us off, and then I'll go into the tips.
Wendy has the props, because this is something that's serious, because one of the things that we're learning through this process of being entrepreneurs in this new space, in a product space, is we're sitting on panels, we're discussing this with experts in this space, and we're learning a lot as we go, and we're trying to pass on that knowledge to our base and people who have supported us throughout our journey and have gotten into our community. And one of the things that we've learned is that no one really shares their regimen of how they're taking care of her.
Yep.
And so Wendy's been really, really big about talking about how you're supposed to exfoliate, how you're supposed to wash, how you're supposed to exfoliate.
So I'm gonna give him the rundown. Don't go too deep because that's the rundown. Don't just give him the surface level.
Okay.
I want to know, how do we condition her and stay smooth? Stay like some women. I know me. I'm a product junkie. I love a good product, and
So
I
is
love a
Gina.
natural product. Like,
Girl,
oh, I know
you
you're
are
making
you
a
are
vegan
speaking to the
product.
choir.
It got some good stuff in it. Oh, I'm buying it. I'm buying two. Like, that's the kind of person I am. So it like, and most of my girlfriends, we're all product whores. So let's see this regimen, child.
This is perfect because
How can they incorporate this?
there is actually something you should be buying two of, and I'm going to get to that. So we've come up, again, like Eugenia said, a little regimen to help and share. So, and Gina, I added on a sixth. It's normally 5, but I'm sitting here looking, and I think I'm going to add a sixth tonight. So number 1, ladies and gents, it's the washing. Okay, we know that you're supposed to wash, and I'm not going to admonish you on what to use, what not. If you're using Dove soap, if you're using palm olive, if you're using whatever you use you. Hopefully you're patronizing companies like the Honey Pot Co., who has a plant-based wash for you. That's fine. We're going to give you that. Okay. You want to keep exfoliated. Ladies, I know some of this is new to you. And ask your bestie, because your bestie gonna surprise you. Be like, yeah, girl, I exfoliate. But again, we don't necessarily always talk about that regimen. So go into the 99-cent store, Target, whatever, get you one of these gloves, okay? Regular little exfoliating glove. Or you can get the face exfoliating brush. It's kind of softer, not so hard, but the face one. But I suggest this. Get your little glove. And a couple times a week, especially on days that you're going to shave or you're going to wax later. A couple times a week, you want to, after you wash, you want to, in circular, you can do it while you're washing. Right. Circular motions, top of the vulva. Remember, we're doing vulva. So about belly button down, that skin that covers your belly button down into your vulva, just circulate anywhere your hair grows. And you get soft, not rough, soft circular motions, okay? So that's what that's doing, is eliminating that dry layer of skin that kind of sits there. So you've washed her, you've exfoliated her, right? Then you're gonna go on to your bestie, us, conditionHER. conditionHER moisturizing cream. You're gonna have this is after you've washed her, you've exfoliated her in the shower, you've gotten out, you've dried off, okay, top to bottom. I really use this as the first product I touched. You're gonna put your little cream on, okay, on your the vulva area, and I use it. I don't put my regular lotion from belly button down into my inner thigh. So from belly button, that whole panel across my tummy, it's getting conditionHER. Down onto the mons, which is the top of the vulva, that's getting conditionHER. In them creases, in your little V, that's getting conditionHER, right? The little V there.
Yeah.
Into your hair, one massage, and talk to her. Tell her how wonderful she is. Thank God for still working and being whoppy. And because we single ladies, you got to encourage her. It's been a rough year for the single ladies. Okay. So you want to talk to her and moisturize. Listen, if you're feeling a little off balance, like you've been a little off, I'll go say take a little swipe inside the inner lip if you want. You're not putting a gob. We're not putting this. I've had women message like, okay, I'm putting it up in. I'm saying, ma'am, what? How are you getting it there? What's happening? That's a no. Okay, so this is the whole area. Then you're gonna go down into your thighs. Even if you don't chafe, like the inner thigh, because again, penetrating your skin, still very close to your vagina, still penetrating. And that's what we're doing. So that's step 3. Okay, so we've washed, we've exfoliated, we've moisturized. Now I'm gonna get into the fun stuff that's about to make your mouth drop. The 4th step is very easy. Watch what you're putting in your body, the foods you consume. You can Google foods good for vaginal health, okay? And things will pop up like these lovely almonds, okay? There are various nuts that are great for vaginal health. There's lovely almonds here. And listen, one thing, Eugenia kind of alluded to it earlier, but we are not chemists. We are not doctors. We are women with vaginas and vulvas, and we would prefer to keep them, healthy and clean. Thank you, ma'am and sir. So I'm going to tell you exactly what the almonds do a little bit. We'll touch on these things, okay? Almonds and other type of nuts are especially good because they contain vitamin B, and calcium, and it helps prevent vaginitis. Yes, these little almonds are doing work. I suggest, like the suggested dose, at least 24 almonds a day is like, that's good protein and it's healthy. At least 24 almonds a day. Take them as a snack, right? So you can do the almonds and other nuts. I'm sure if you Google, you can find out what some of those other nuts are. All right. I don't have them here, but strawberries and other berries. Did you know that strawberries contain more vitamin C than oranges? Okay. A lot of you didn't know. You're like, going, what? No, you got to have the orange. No, you can get you some strawberries. Okay. And that makes for a very healthy vagina. It frees you up from dryness internally because you're eating it in your body. Okay. and itching. And vitamin C plays a key role in collagen synthesis. So that's helping the internal stay whoppy. Collagen synthesis, muscle elasticity. It's keeping that muscle, some muscle in there, and it dries out. So that's why you want the berries, strawberries, that's specifically, okay? And then we're gonna go over to everyone's favorite, this good old nasty to some, okay to others, raw cranberry juice with sugar added. Trader Joe's, everybody got a Trader Joe's, $2.99. Pick this up once a week. Drink a glass every day. Ladies, if you have daughters at home, give them a glass of this every day. If you just can't stomach the raw, no sugar, if it's too much, go 3/4 of the raw cranberry juice. Grab pineapple juice, not from concentrate. You can grab that at Trader Joe's also.
And I got some right in the kitchen.
That a pineapple juice, because y'all been out here drinking pineapple juice thinking that it's doing something. And listen, it's citrusy, so it may break down the scent. You may, add a little taste, but this right here, raw cranberry juice, will not only help prevent UTI, urinary tract infections, but it will sweeten if you're trying to sweeten your secretions, it will do a better job than the pineapple juice, okay? Pineapple is great anecdotally for other things in our body, not necessarily the kuchaya, okay?
Is that a myth, Wendy? I think that's a myth.
It's somewhat of a myth.
A
little bit. But if I'm out and I know it's about to be one of those type of popping nights, I'm gonna go ahead and drink the cranberry juice and if I can, even what you get in a restaurant, and I'll order the pineapple juice, no ice, if y'all trying to get it popping that evening. And then finally, what we have here, good old fashioned H2O, y'all, water, lots of water. And what I didn't have with me too, but I'll say avocados are good for vaginal health. And I think I have a note on here about the avocados. Yeah, they prevent dryness and itching and burning also. Avocados add a natural lubrication. Again, the WAP. We give it back to the WAP. And it's high in vitamin B6 and potassium.
And I'm an avocado toast fan.
Boom. Listen. It's really good to try to eat a half an avocado a day.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Bad for you. It's healthy fat. And then Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt's good for her. Okay. So those are the things. So that would be step 4. Finally, the one that people, y'all ready for this, ladies? Ladies, I want you to go to your panty drawer right now. Take this with you, take your phone, go to your panty drawer, open it up, and be disgusted at yourself. Because you're looking at the pair of panties that's been in that drawer for 10 years because you liked how so-and-so used to hit it, and them panties remind you of him. You probably got his t-shirt somewhere. Ladies, you need to pack up all them panties and throw them out.
Well,
you need to recycle. You need to recycle your panties every 12 months, preferably. They carry bacteria. And if you're worried, like, oh, this is not healthy for the environment, step your game up and buy some biodegradable panties. There is a brand out there called Nudies. Shout out to my girl, Nikki Chu, the founder of Nudies, Nudies. They are disposable panties. They come in a box, but there's all sorts of biodegradable panties out there if you're worried about the environment. So what I suggest, and it don't have to be all your panties, but especially while we're at home right now, y'all got them favorite pair of drawers if you wear drawers, because I know y'all out there free falling out there. But you want the ones that you wear weekly, your weeklies kind of, you want to get rid of those, not your cute girly ones that you only wear with that dress or that skirt or when you're going out on that date. You can keep those around a little longer, but the reason, like you said, when you buy things in 2, so this holiday season, when your partner or when you're buying your own items, you need to buy your panties and if you love them, buy 2 pairs. One for this coming year, the other one to put in a little bag. So when we roll around next year, you can just literally empty your underwear drawer and replenish with the panties that you loved, back in your drawer. And so that is the 6th idea. There actually is a gynecologist, I can't think of the name, but I love to give credit. She actually has come up with a panty wash that helps, get that bacteria out of your panties. And the 6th that I'm going to add is just educate yourself, read. We've learned so much doing this. And I recently bought this book. You guys may be familiar, The Queen V.
Hey, Dr. Jackie.
Walter. And I'm digging into it and finding tips and things for us to share when we're doing these things. But go pick up Dr. Jackie's book. And I hope that Dr. Jackie, if you hear us, we're looking for you, girl. We want to have you on conversations. We want to sell your book.
I'm trying to get her an appointment with her.
Yes. Well, tell Dr. Jackie that you found some ladies that's looking for her and has been out talking about her book. So that's it. That's now the 6 steps of your intimate care regimen. Talk to your daughters. These little girls don't know. Some of y'all don't even know what a Kegel is. Ladies, we need a little more education, and we out here trying to be fine and out here trying to throw that ass in a circle for everybody. And we ain't ready. She ain't right. She not. And when we do vendors, I look at women at our table and I'm like, "How you doing, girl?" And they be like, "Girl, I'm fine." I be like, "Okay, how's she doing?" And it throws them off. They like they get defensive. How's she doing? I'm talking to her. Your little V, your little box down there. Oh, she good, good. Is she? Is she clean? Okay, she clean. Is she exfoliated? And that's when the embarrassment starts setting in. Are you moisturizing? Oh yes, I only use raw shea butter. I said, she's not good. She's unhealthy. Her pores are clogged. And then they like, tell me more. And so that's the regimen. There's still some people that are going to hear all this and are like, nope, I don't want to put anything in that area. I don't have any issues. I'm fine. Listen, Strange says, do you. That's great. You don't have to. Maybe you just take the panty advice. Maybe you just take the book advice or the advice of things to add to your basket while you're shopping. But we're here for you. We're here for her. And we appreciate you giving us the time. I'm the talker, y'all. You know what I mean? I am. But like I said, you get to talking about how we're doing, how it was to like raise money, how it is to actually start a business and the things that you need to get a business going. Eugenia gonna talk all day. I'm gonna be dead silent. So maybe we'll come back to talk about, what it takes to start a business. How do you get your business license? How do you get when do you know when to trademark? Should we be crowdfunding? Should we be doing angel? Those are the things that Eugenia can really just take and run with.
I may need y'all for that. Because
There you go.
me, here at the Mina B podcast, it's one thing about this show that I'm grateful for is just making sure that I give women a platform. And even for myself, because I hear constantly, from other Black women that listen, or I didn't think about that, or I didn't even have the balls to say something that you said and it inspired me, or it's just things like that. And even in business, because that is just such a big thing for me, is just to make sure women are getting good information, that we're building each other up to do more and to figure things out. And we don't have to figure things out alone. We can figure things out together because we're all resources. We all have good feedback and information and pathways to help each other navigate this. So absolutely, we gonna talk 2021.
Thank you.
We got another episode coming back.
We'll be ready. Thank you for this time. Like you said early, we sell direct to consumer. You can find us at conditionHER.com. You can find us on IG. Everything is at conditionHER. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Where we really want to be is in your home, on your counter, in your boudoir, under your counter, in your overnight bag, in your whole bag. We want to be in all the bags. And we want to get to the bag ourselves. So honestly, we can give back. That is our ultimate goal, to be in position to give back to other women that have a harebrained idea. You done taken your hair tool, your hair thing, and twisted it up, and you found a tweak on how to improve something. And you're not thinking like, maybe this is something I can make. Maybe this is something I can enhance on, and you need that 5K, 10K, 20K to make it happen. Like that's where we want to get. We want to get to the bag so we can share the bag. So helping us by buying this product really is ultimately coming back so we can pour back to our community. So again, we have set up a dedicated code that will run through January 31st of 2021 at 11:59 p.m. And it will be, your code is Mina B, and it will give you 20% off of anything that you choose to purchase.
Yes.
And guys, so we thank you.
Definitely be posting that when this episode airs so you guys can see it and all that good stuff. And ladies, I want to, we're going to end of the year. We've been through a lot this year, and I'm really interested in hearing from both of you. What is, and I want to try to keep it pretty brief, but
okay,
what is your legacy? And with all that you guys have come together to do with conditionHER, what would you like to leave behind?
Eugenia, please take that.
This year has been pretty rough for me. It's been a mix of extreme highs and extreme lows. So in 2020, conditionHER has really grown. Wendy and I were just talking today, and we're probably going to do 10 to 12 times what we did last year. And so that's amazing, especially in your first, real year of business. But I lost my best friend cousin this year. I call her my sister cousin. I lost, and I learned through that experience that she was one of my soulmates. I think that you're kind of born, and as you grow up and you get in relationships, people tell you that your soulmate is a man. And I think through losing my cousin, I realized that your soulmate might not be a man. It might be various other people in your life where your soul just connects with other people. Wendy is one of my soulmates. And definitely my cousin was. And losing her really, really helped me put life in perspective. I say that uh, loss can do that in a way that nothing else can. And it really helped me to understand the 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 importance of value, and the value of today. Rather than thinking, oh, I got tomorrow. No, no, you don't have tomorrow. You got to push through today, because who knows what's going to happen tomorrow. And when you think about, when you push things to tomorrow, you're just setting yourself up to possibly not ever have that happen. And so I think part of my legacy, especially as it relates to my children, is making sure that the things that I want to do, I'm doing today, or at least I'm planting the seeds today. So that would be what I've learned in 2020.
And I'll bring us. I'll wrap it up and say, as a Black, in terms of our business, and same with my son as well, as a Black woman-owned business, what's really important for us is creating generational wealth through this product for ourselves, for our families, and equally as important, if not more, also for our communities. All of the communities that we belong to. And I think that this product will allow us, and will allow us for that to be a part of our legacy, for us to take a harebrained idea that we were able to bring to fruition, use it to create the generational wealth needed, and actually do the give back, and show others that, like, you could do it. You could do it with a job. You could do it with kids. You could do it single. You can do it in a pandemic. You can do it. And especially when we have people like you that don't know us from Adam, find us online and take your time and your energy and offer your platform to allow us to spread the word that just helps us get and to accomplish those goals faster. And so I'd be remiss to not say thank you as we head on out of here today.
Well, thank you guys so much. I'm full, y'all. Like, I don't know about y'all.
Same.
I'm full. Like,
Now I'm gonna get me a glass of wine after this, so I'm gonna be full with
well deserved, man. Well deserved. Thank you, ladies, so much for coming on to the Mina B podcast and sharing your knowledge and all your experience. It's so needed, like so needed. And this amazing product, conditionHER, that I use. Listen, okay.
Thank you.
Listen.
Can we ask a favor before we leave?
Sure.
Would you be a guest one weekend on our conversation so you can talk about the journey of creating a podcast and what you've done? Will you come and be?
I was thinking the same thing,
I would
girls.
love to be on the
Earlier,
show.
she knows how to make drinks.
Listen.
Yes. Yeah, you want to come on and teach? Listen, I used to. I worked in liquor marketing for many years, so I'd love to come on and tell women, like, how can you drink Hennessy if you don't really like Hennessy? Add a little sweet and sour. This bartender.
I got all the ways you could drink your favorite liquor or the liquor that your girlfriends is drinking, and you're feeling like an oddball because you're not drinking it with them. So I got you. I will definitely be on the show. Absolutely.
Yes.
We gonna talk after this.
Let's make that happen before the new year, because everybody's gonna be at home trying to impress their man.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Let's do that. Let's go with next. Let's look at maybe in the next week or two. Let's do that.
Absolutely, I'm there. So you guys, thank you so much again for fucking with the Mina B podcast and this amazing episode. Oh my God, I'm so blessed. I'm so happy, and I'm so grateful for you guys. Again, where to find me is at the Mina B podcast over on IG. And if you have any inquiries, questions, topics, it's askminab@gmail.com. Thank you guys again so much, and bye.
Bye, guys. Keep her safe.